I think what I said after the game still sits today. You know, I feel a real missed opportunity. You know, we shouldn't have to be more than one goal up to take on a team like Aberdeen on their second leg. You know, and I just feel as though we have wasted an opportunity to qualify for the group stages. No good enough, and except I'm more disappointed with the performance because I expect better from us. But we can't dwell on it now. It's done. I mean, I know football. You've got to get ready to go again, and obviously a huge game on Sunday for us, which we always need to be. We've not got the best record recently at Pittodrie, so we have to be ready for that one.
Given what you're saying then, why do you feel Rangers are maybe not clicking just now?
I think there's loads of reasons. I think if you look at it objectively and look at the amount of changes and the like, we're not quite there. I think key players, you know, we've obviously missed Big Yusuf, a type of striker to go and stretch teams. We've looked a wee bit better in terms of defensively and not losing goals, although we did look vulnerable at times just because the spaces were too big last night. And I just think there is that settling-in period which you don't get at Rangers, obviously, but I think with a lot of the changes, I thought we looked a wee bit young last night, and it's a wee bit of to and fro and going with the window. But no excuses in terms of, you know, I don't expect us to be perfect at this stage for all those reasons, but I do expect us to be good enough to win that game. And that's where the disappointment really bites, you know, and I think the supporters deserve better. I think the supporters deserve to see a better Rangers performance. And it's up to us to deliver that. You know, I feel it's not been the start we wanted. I'm not the first Rangers manager to get off to a tough start. But we are determined to follow this job through, and it's the end that counts. And I still believe we're going to be a success here, but we need to try and give a bit more encouragement to the supporters, something to buy into and get behind. And we certainly need to get a bit more confidence into the team, and only really results will bring that. We went into last night's game on the back of 2 wins, one with a really good performance against St Mirren, and one was a quite stuttery performance, a bitty performance last Thursday in Europe. But as I said, I think at this stage of the season, when we're still working to try to find our best, we're still looking for those creative players that maybe change the dynamic of the team, still looking for maybe a bit more punch at the top end of the pitch. We've still got to be able to win games while we get there, so that's where the disappointment comes.
When you said last night that maybe you're not comfortable as a possession-based team, not good enough as a counter-attacking team, and maybe not happy when you go direct, what do you feel you are just now, and how do you get to where you want to be? So
teams need to be something, right? You've got to, no matter what level, and I've always felt that my teams have always had some sort of identity, and for us, we've got to be something. I want us to try and be a team that puts more stress on teams defensively, and I don't think we are at the minute. I do think we've got good ball players, and I think we just need to relax a wee bit more in possession and be comfortable what we're trying to do. So it's not as if we're not capable of being that, but I do think with an extra 1 or 2 additions it will help us become something. You know, I want us to be able to be a team that goes full press, but when you go full press and you're aggressive, you've got to be really aggressive with it, and you've got to pick up second balls and win duels and turn the ball over and really impose yourselves in the game. And I just think at the minute we look as if we're doing neither or, and we've got to try and be good at something. And there's talented players here. You don't get in the door at Rangers unless you're a talented player. I'd like to think I know what I'm doing as a manager. I'm a good manager, I back myself. But at the minute, none of us are doing my job well enough, and it's up to us to try and share that responsibility to improve things.
That's interesting. Does that mean then that the players aren't buying into what you want to do, or you're not getting your message across right enough, or is the collective just not functioning?
I think the players need a wee bit of help and support at the minute, but equally we've all got to work that wee bit harder to find that.
Is that difficult then? Because I think we spoke a month ago in the old manager's office at Ibrox, where you said you do need to change things and it will take time, but you appreciated that you have to get results right away. Is that now where you're finding that difficulty just now to make sure you're getting the changes in that you want, but the results aren't necessarily always coming?
Yeah, listen, I left a really stable and comfortable environment last season, and I knew there was work to be done here, but I was ready to take it on, and you know, I still feel the work here can be done and can be done successfully. And obviously we wanted to get off to a better start, because if you get off to a better start, and I think we mentioned that in an interview, you get the buy-in, you get the trust and everything else. So I think from us, we've got work to do to convince everyone, the supporters especially, that this team's worth getting behind. And you know, it's my job and the players' job to to improve performances, to get better results, and as we go along, hopefully a win on Sunday certainly helps matters. It's not going to fix everything, but a win helps breed confidence, and hopefully we can, as I say, maintain that as we go along. There's a lot of young players here, there's a lot of good players here, but we have to try and find that real consistency and strength in our performance. And we're a long way away from the Rangers team that I want us to be, and the Rangers team that I intend us to be. But I do think that the players are working extremely hard. I think we're a close group. I think there's a lot of uncertainty at the minute, as it normally happens before a transfer window. But even more so at this club at the minute, a lot of kind of people, maybe ins and outs and all the rest of it. Just want the window to close and we get that stability. And stability will help things. Things become a lot clearer, a lot more clarity to how we're working. But until then, we've got a couple of games to try and navigate, and the first one being Sunday.
In terms of ins and outs, how close are you to getting that stability in terms of knowing exactly where you are with your squad?
Well, we've got Minsu in. Obviously, we'll get him ready for the game on Sunday, which is another young, talented player who has got real high potential and someone we think has got the skill set to help the team. And we're working hard to try and bring a couple more in if we can, and there probably will be one or two leaving, as you can probably guess. So, like I say, I always think this time of the season there is that wee bit of uncertainty. Managers are always trying to kind of navigate that, and I think once the window closes, everything becomes a bit calmer.
You know this fixture so well from being on the other side of it. Is this, given what happened on Thursday night, is this the best game to have to come into in terms of bouncing back a game at Pittodrie, or does it make it even more difficult?
No, I think we expect a tough game. We know what we expect. Obviously, the lads who have been involved in this fixture, the ones who've been about Scottish football for a long time, you know the intensity of this fixture. The fixture normally brings a lot of spotlight, a lot of sometimes you need to retain your discipline in these types of games and your calmness, but you certainly need to compete. Anytime you go away from home in Scottish football, you need to compete, but particularly at Pittodrie. Obviously I'm saving it for the first time now as a Rangers manager, and as you said, I've been on the other side of it, and we know how important it is to the Aberdeen fans, but equally we've got to show how important it is to us and our fans, and I think it's important we just try and get a win, send our punters home happy, back down the road, and get a wee bit more optimism and a wee bit more belief in what we're doing. Taking
on a Stephen Robinson team, how tough is that in general?
Yeah, it's always quite tough. You know, I think Robbo's kind of changed a wee bit, being back to being a back four. Started the season off 4-3-3s, went more 4-2-4 recently and tried to get the ball forward a bit quicker. I think he's got a really strong squad. You look at the numbers they've got there, and I think he's recruited well. I thought a lot of the types of players he's brought in is synonymous with Stevie's teams, and you know, he'll be determined to do well at Aberdeen, and I'm sure he will, because he's done well at all his other clubs. So tough game. You've got to stand up to Aberdeen physically this season, which we intend to do, but equally we've got to go and show our teeth in the game as well. And I just want us to be more competitive, a bit more difficult to play against, a bit more difficult to play through than we were the other night. And hopefully we can take confidence from spending more time on the ball and try to create opportunities ourselves.
And just finally, in terms of now, you know, there's no European football. Is this a great chance now to start building momentum and making sure that this is day one of that come Sunday against Aberdeen?
Yeah, I mean, the only positive you can take, and I'm not saying it as a positive really, is the fact that you can just concentrate domestically now. But the European football is so important for the club, not just from a financial aspect, but just from a prestige point of view. So we're all disappointed and gutted that we're not competing longer in Europe. But our full focus is on Aberdeen. The full focus will be on us this season domestically now. And I do think we need to be a club that gets back to winning trophies domestically. When I first came in, I said that. And maybe just concentrating on us domestically now gives us a better chance of that.